Behind those friendly graphics and cute emojis are dark, tragic, and heartbreaking stories that only select few remembers. I am but a traveling minstrel that survived the test of time, and my mission? To celebrate the heroics and feats of the unsung heroes, to curse the lies and deception of the beings pulling the strings, to delve to the history and lore of Rune Midgard. Between the kingdom and the Cecil has a monikered title as the Ice Witch due to her cold disposition with most people in the association. Unbeknownst to many, she actually loved embroidery, hoping that someday her embroidered work can help her become more. Eremes, being an assassin, was able to barely withstand the poison and has escaped the room with Katheryn in tow. Siren was then taken to the experiment room, and the surgery was performed to replace his heart with the heart of Ymir. But like the previous test subject, Siren, the Lord Knight, has fallen. While inside the morgue, Siren's strong desire to protect his team has resonated to the heart of Ymir inside his body. The heart has created a replica of him, one which wandered the laboratory. Siren then saw Soren inside an experiment tank. He quickly tried to help her and dispatch the scientist inside the room, but in the end, his lover also died due to the experiment. He carried the body of the high priest and put it beside his real body in the morgue room, and then his incarnation has disappeared. But right then thereafter, the heart of Ymir once more created another clone, but this time, there was no memories of him helping Margarita. Meanwhile, Eremes and Chiron had fought their way against the guards of the Institute, but with countless of armies both pursuing and blocking their way, Chiron was captured and has been experimented. Eremes tried to help Chiron once more, but Cenia appeared and knocked him unconscious. The new clone of Seyren has once again wandered the Institute and finally met Eremes. The two has then proceeded to help Chiron, but has once been more late. Katheryn Chiron, the High Wizard, was the third to fall. Seyren promised to avenge his sister and set off to find the person behind these horrendous experiments. Eremes, on the other hand, filled with great regret for not being able to protect Chiron, the heart of Ymir inside his body has started to go wild, and Eremes started to bleed all over his body. At that time, Margareta has appeared and led Eremes to the morgue, wherein they placed Chiron's body in a bed. Shortly thereafter, Eremes has collapsed and became the fifth victim of the experiment. In another part of the lab, Cecil Damon has regained her consciousness while inside the tank and was able to escape. She sneaked through the vents and was able to find her way to Wolfchief's office, where she found the notes and reports of the ongoing experiment. There she got the understanding on the heart of Ymir that was placed to their bodies. While wandering in the lab, slaying everyone he saw, Seyren found another tank. Inside is shockingly Howard Alt-Eisen. He learned that Howard's party was also tricked by the Rickenberg, captured and experimented. Both have decided to try to help Cecil, but when they arrived, her tank was already empty. They again set off in order to find her, but instead met with Cenia. The strength of the famed swordsman is not to be trifled with, and the combination of Siren and Howard was helplessly beaten to a pulp. Cecil saw the incident through the CCTV in Wolfchief's room, and then went out to help Siren and Howard, who are being pursued by Cenia. With her help, the three has successfully escaped from the swordsman. Cecil then revealed what she found out to Siren and Howard about the capability of the Heart of Ymir and the dark experiments of the Rickenberg. She gave the papers to Siren, hoping to have it reported to the kingdom. The three then set off to confront Wolf Chief and end everything, but they need to surpass a great wall first, a wall named Cenia Egninem. A great battle ensues between Siren, Howard, and Cecil against the lone Cenia. However, it is not enough, and Cenia was able to overpower the three. That is until Margareta, Eremes, and Katheryn has appeared and turned the tides of the battle. 6 versus 1. Even the best swordsman in the continent was not able to resist the power of a full party of veterans. Cenia still stood his ground though, unyielding even in the face of defeat. But during one of the exchanges, Seyren saw through the mind of Cenia. He saw through what's little left of her consciousness. Siren tried his best to call to this consciousness of Cenia, and was able to succeed. She let Siren deal the final blow, while her sword pierced through the safety glass and stabbed Wolf Chief. Then the scientist escaped using the butterfly wing, and immediately requested assistance to heal his wound. Cenia's body then started to disintegrate, while showing a smile in her face. As Siren was about to celebrate their victory, he saw Soren's body also dissipating. Cecil then further divulged the secret of the Heart of Ymir, saying that Soren, Eremes, Katheryn, and Siren himself were only incarnation of the resurrection power of the heart, and with each resurrection, pieces of memories will also be lost on the new body. Everyone present sees their urgency to report these findings back to the kingdom, and help Siren escape the laboratory. During this time, Cecil and Howard's body has started to break, but before their death, reminded Siren not to look back, and hurried to send a report to Frontera. Once outside the lab, Siren put all the documents inside his Peko-Peko's bag. Against an army, he successfully fought his way out of the town, but resulted to him being greatly injured. Before his body fully disappeared, he sent one last order to his loyal Peko-Peko. "Go and hurry back to Frontera, my old friend, and find my dad." And with this, Siren has disappeared, and the Peko-Peko has set his way off back home. But with the power of the Heart of Ymir, the party of Seyren has been resurrected, time and time again. However, they are no longer the group we once knew. Without the memories of the past, they are but a husk of their former selves, forever to wander the Regenschirm Laboratory. Many will die in their hands, and they too will be killed and resurrected repeatedly. Will they ever escape from this cursed fate?